Bumble knows it's hard to start conversations.
Hey, no, too basic. Hi there. Still no. What about hello, handsome? Ugh, who knew you could give yourself the ick?
That's why Bumble is changing how you start conversations. You can now make the first move or not. With opening moves, you simply choose a question to be automatically sent to your matches. Then sit back and let your matches start the chat. Download Bumble and try it for yourself.
Rated T to M. Hey, want to hear a PC Game Pass ad? I'll take your silence as a yes. Want new games on day one like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or Stalker 2? I thought so. How about unlocking all the League of Legends champions when you link your Riot Games account? All for one low monthly price? Well, guess what? We got you. Learn more at xbox.com/PC Game Pass or click the banner. Stalker 2 available November 20th, 2024. Game catalog varies by region and over time. And that's the end of the script.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, 5 online dating communication tips for starting a healthy relationship by Dr. Diana Kirschner of lovin90days.com. Are you looking for online dating communication tips to set up a healthy, passionate, forever love relationship? It can be very challenging for sure. You may see a guy whose photo and profile are very attractive to you. You wonder, how do you make yourself stand out among all the zillions of other women who are also interested in this man? How do you connect to him digitally to set up a healthy relationship from the start? Well, this blog is for you. There are specific keys to communicating online that will help you to connect to someone who is on your wavelength and potentially a great soulmate match for you. Let's start with messaging tips that make him beg to meet you. Online dating communication tip number 1. Focus on similar interests. Shared interests are very important to a lasting love relationship. For an initial message reaching out to a new match, share a specific experience you enjoyed related to an activity he mentions in his profile and add a question about it. For example, if he mentions Chaco Canyon, you might write, "I love Chaco Canyon. I got a very cool piece of Anasazi pottery from the Heritage Center that I keep in my office to remember that sunset. Did you get to go on that crazy pink Jeep tour?" Online dating communication tip number 2. Start a positive cycle of interaction. For example, give him a sincere compliment. Something like, "I just started running myself and noticed you did half of the NYC marathon. Not too shabby." Then see if he responds in kind. If he is not appreciative of the compliment and sharing some compliments of you, move on. You want a guy who has a positive, validating interaction with you. Online dating communication tip number 3. Use his name if you have it, and flirt by throwing in a bit of a challenge. See if he responds in kind. Using his name is a third powerful way to create a feeling of connection between you. If he's into football, something like, "Well, Jason, what about a Ravens-Saints Super Bowl matchup? The young QB versus the Hall of Famer? How cool would that be?" This kind of flirting is totally irresistible to a man who is a good soulmate match. See if he flirts back with you. Flirting is a key component of healthy relationships. Online dating communication tip number 4. Be upbeat and fun. See if he is upbeat and funny himself. For example, you could say, "I just had a breakthrough in my lasagna recipe. One taste and you'll be hooked. Fair warning." See if he responds in kind. A healthy relationship is filled with fun and laughter. Shared humor is part of the bonding process that is very powerful. Online dating communication tip number 5. Be honest, but no confessionals. See if he responds similarly. You don't want to message him about how you drank all last night and are sick at work now, nor do you want him to do the same. If he is giving you overly personal info or confessionals, head for the hills. Being with someone who has poor boundaries or acts out in a negative way is not a setup for a healthy, loving relationship. So, there you have 5 online dating communication tips that will have him beg to meet you. Ideally, you want about 3 to 4 fun flirty messages on the app, 2 to 6 text exchanges, and then to meet for coffee. But don't get stuck in a fantasy messaging relationship with the perfect guy whom you never talk to on the phone. Even though you may feel intimidated, Having a real conversation will give you so much more info about your match, so that you don't waste time. You can feel a guy's energy, his mood, and whether he is a good conversational match for you. In order to have a healthy relationship, you want to be weeding out what I call the duds, definitely unsuitable dudes, and a phone call is a very efficient way to do that. Bottom line. In fact, in our coaching program, we have found that studs, seriously terrific, utterly devoted dudes, will often call in the beginning without the woman asking to talk. They are the more successful guys who also don't want to waste time, so they're more interested and willing to connect via phone. A guy's availability for talking with you is very telling. On the other hand, if he doesn't meet with you after 2 or 3 weeks after matching on a site, a week or so after an app match, move on. For example, one millennial, Kelly, was a slow-eyed brunette who came into our coaching program because she was burnt out on Tinder and Match before that. She had a pattern of getting lost in texting with guys who never spoke to her on the phone and never made a date. Kelly was sick of the whole digital dating world. Her coach taught her these online dating communication tips, and the rest is history. She found guys who shared her interests, started lively, flirty exchanges with them, faced down her own fear of talking to new matches on the phone, and started ruling guys out who didn't step up. Kelly wound up dating 2 great guys who are seriously crazy about her, in a great way. There are amazing matches out there for you too. Now 1 in every 3 marriages in the US starts with an online connection, and there are healthier marriages that last longer. You just listened to the post titled, 5 Online Dating Communication Tips for Starting a Healthy Relationship by Dr. Diana Kirschner of loveinninetydays.com.
The Subaru Share the Love event is a fulfilling way to get in a great vehicle and support a great cause. When you buy or lease a new Subaru from now until January 2nd, Subaru and its retailers will donate a minimum of $300 to charity. By the end of this year's event, Subaru will have donated nearly $320 million to charity. Visit Subaru.com/share to support a great cause today.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
How about listening to the sounds of Istanbul? Beautiful, isn't it? But you can't discover the coolest city in the world just by listening. Check istanbul.goturkiye.com now and plan your Istanbul trip today.
A great guide from Dr. Diana today for navigating the world of online dating. Thanks a lot to her for that. But while these tips are great for the actual conversation, it's also important to have the right approach when you're swiping, so you have better odds of starting conversations with the right types of people in the first place. And with all the people out there, it can be hard to have a list of matches dense with good potential partners. So my advice, go into dating knowing your non-negotiables. It's too easy to either demand too much or to want to talk to too many people. Narrow down a perfect amount by picking maybe 3 things that you most want to see in a person's profile, and then be willing to flex on the rest. And for the love of God, do not have sunglasses on in your main picture. This was my biggest pet peeve when I was on the dating apps once upon a time. The eyes are the windows to the soul, people, okay? You can't have them covered in the first picture. Come on. Okay. Guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks a lot for joining me and being a great audience as per usual. I hope your week is off to a great start. I will see you back here tomorrow for the Tuesday show. That is where your optimal life awaits.